Hello everyone and welcome to I'm not sure if it's gonna be the first that I publish or not, but welcome to the Manuel's podcast. And what is this? This is basically a podcast that lasts no more than 10-15 minutes that I will probably upload on YouTube, and I'm just gonna probably put some random image on it, and it is just meant to be listened, and it's gonna be just a random argument that that I pick and I will try to discuss on the spot. And I usually start to introduce what I'm gonna talk about, then give a title, and then try to go through it and then come to some sort of conclusions. Everything on the spot. So I have in front of me a list of topics, and so today's topic, it's about culture. Somehow it's related to the culture that I feel it's sort of becoming dominant these days, and somehow also this generation of people that are, let's say, becoming more and more responsible for what is happening around the world. So the truth is, obviously, your grandparents decided to have kids, they made your parents decided to have kids, and they had you. And we say that every time someone has kids, there is a new generation coming on. And generally, since everyone has their own timing of making kids, they decided to create or define generations by decades. So now there were the boomers, then the millennials, then the Gen Z, which right now, these are the ones that are becoming adult now. And I'm not sure what are the names for the next ones, but every generation has this thing. It has its own values that comes from obviously what they've been taught and the environment they are presented with. So in our case, this has been a little bit complicated because old values tend to change because the environment keeps changing. Obviously, the parents grow their children with some sort of values, but then the child, the son or the daughter, will have to adapt the values for the new environment that is in front of him. For example, sure, you can be humble as much as you want, but that's not gonna get you, if you want to have a very successful life, you're not gonna get there, right? You need some sort of ambitions and push yourself and promote yourself more than being humble in this case. So here today I want to talk about this sort of generation or this sort of culture that it's dominant right now, and I want to apply to a very specific example about, for example, entrepreneurs that are in nowadays. I think it's a very good way to look at what are we doing basically. What are we pushing? What are we looking forward like heroes? So if we want to put some sort of timeline to some sort of entrepreneurs, we can have a look at Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. I think these are very good examples. So in the past, entrepreneurs had to basically make money in order for the company to be successful. And investor would be attracted by it because they were making money basically. So new computers, new operating systems, new devices, new platforms, internet platforms. I'm basically trying to describe Windows, Apple products, and Amazon. You can see that there is a change. And all these entrepreneurs basically were not really selling dreams. They had to interact with a particular type of investors, which basically were just putting money in front of it. But nowadays things have changed. We have Robinhood apps, we have eToro, we have a lot of apps that let you trade things on the stock. And therefore companies can basically convince people that are not really professional investors, but maybe are investing for the first time to buy their stock. And it looks like to me that things have changed. Now, I want to go, and this is actually it's gonna be my main focus, to Elon Musk. So the perception of Elon Musk is obviously different from the others. Often is perceived as probably the most clever among everyone. He's the one that wants to save our planet from basically ourselves. He wants us to go to the moon, to Mars, to have electric cars. He made PayPal, so he must be a genius. But the truth, if you look at it, if you go a little bit under the surface, is very different than what it looks like. So I'm not saying that Musk is in the end stupid. I think he's an extremely clever person. But the thing is, in my opinion, a lot of people are misplacing him and what he's actually good at. He might be good at being an engineer, and he might have participated in creating a lot of the things that he has done, but it must be noted that he's an extremely clever marketer to a very specific type of people, and these people are the people that believe in everything he says. Because the truth is, he didn't make PayPal, he bought PayPal, or it became he became part of the board in PayPal. Same in Tesla. Tesla was already there before, and it just became bought I think not sure how it happened, but he became the CEO afterwards. And then there was a constant selling of his dreams, of his ideas. It was saying every year, I'm gonna save the world, electric cars, these are the future, give me money. And people, a lot of high profile investors, never took him seriously. That's the truth. The problem, in fact, was that Tesla have always lost money for, not sure if a decade, but for years. And the problem was, how can you make this a success? So these were the problem of investors. Sure, we have to save the world, but you might not be the person to do so, and therefore we are not gonna give you this money. And here I think that's where the genius of Elon Musk came out. Instead of really targeting them, because he knew that he couldn't convince them with the numbers, he just started to talk about dreams, about this, about that, to a specific type of people, the new generations of investors that were not, I wouldn't say gullible, but they had for sure less information to make up their minds. And they were basically listening to just what this person was saying. This person was saying, I can save the world, electric cars, yeah, sure, give me money. And people started to believe him. Now, it's impressive because this thing would have ever happened to previous type of entrepreneurs. If you're talking about Bill Gates, and we're talking about Steve Jobs of Bezos too, which right now, these are the old ones, I would say. None of them would have managed to pull it off. In particular, in the case, if they had a company that was just bleeding money every year, no one would have ever invested, and therefore you wouldn't have today, you wouldn't have Apple products. You probably have other type of products. You wouldn't even know about who was this Steve Jobs guy. Probably someone else would have come out. So that's why I want to give to Elon probably that he was good, but in my opinion, he's not a great engineer per se. I think he's a much better marketer of dreams. And so that's what I actually want to end up the conversation. I think and this is a critics of the culture, or to this generation at least, is that imagine to have a company that it's just bleeding money, and having a person that is just try to sell the idea as much as he can. So this is usually a scam. Is usually this ends up as being discovered as a scam. It couldn't work. You were trying to convince people to give you money for basically nothing that was working behind it. But the difference in particular with Tesla or with Elon Musk is that in the end, he managed to make money out of it somehow. And I think that's where his clever, probably engineer part or entrepreneur part had the most influence in this, not his great marketing skills. But at the same time, I feel sad for this generation that was willing to not look at the numbers just to look at the dream. There is so sort of desperation in not wanting to have to deal with reality in this, and that's my sadness. And that's why I'm sort of angry at Elon Musk, because he basically abused his own followers, and he's still abusing his own followers just for his own success, because in the end he's a clever guy and everything, but doesn't mean that he is the one that is gonna save the world. Probably he's not, and probably someone else would have come out with electric cars anyway. Someone in the future will make rockets which are gonna be way more secure than the ones that are available nowadays, because the truth is sure, we want to go to Mars or to the moon and to terraform it, but this is not gonna happen in one day. This is gonna take centuries to be done and to be achieved. But I'm not sure he's the person. So that's why I'm like, I think he just sold his ideas, his dreams. And I'm not sure that Elon's was believing that much. I think he was feeling sort of to the wall. He was arrived to in front of a wall and didn't know what to do. So he had to push it back, to push all the critics back. And yeah, that's how I want to end up this podcast. Basically Why do we have to follow for these guys? I know this time it went well, but is it always gonna go well? What I'm scared of all these people that are willing to put everything in for just a dream, that it's extremely likely that it's not gonna come true. It will eventually come true, but that doesn't mean that we should be giving everything to these sad dreamers. So, said this, I hope you like this take on this generation, on these entrepreneurs that are coming and going, and this generation. And well, I hope that I gave you something to think about, and see you next time. Bye.